I mean, I can
Your
feel
thoughts?
your passion when you talk about this. And what I'm hearing you say is that EMDR is specifically a trauma therapy. Like it's really good at working with traumatic memories. And it works on this deeper level. It's getting into not only rewiring the brain and the way that we experience the memory, but it's also getting deeper into the layers of the nervous system. Am I getting that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think yes, great for trauma memories and also great for just experiences that didn't feel so great. For instance, like maybe you're struggling with social anxiety. Anytime you go out to a social function, you like freeze up and you feel really anxious going into it. And then what we do is we set that as kind of our the issue we want to work with. Like you can come in with something like that. Doesn't have to be trauma. But we could link that back to through the help with a therapist, we kind of find the feeder memories, we call them, that are influencing the social anxiety today. So maybe it was like a work event 10 years ago where your boss humiliated you. Like we wouldn't consider that maybe a trauma memory, but that was potentially a stressful event where you felt humiliated, right? So then our body holds on to that and registers any social interaction as a trigger and causes that social anxiety or that freeze response to come up. So it can be used for really like symptoms that we don't really know where they're coming from. Maybe we figure that out through the process.
Something
Or
like insomnia, maybe?
yeah, potentially.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Other
I've
sim
helped
other you were
folks
talking about
through, like,
symptoms.
OCD symptoms, which actually ended up being linked back to certain scenarios in childhood. Like, you just don't really know. We because they're stored in long-term memory, and a lot of times when we go through difficult situations, our mind kind of shuts down. Our brain, the prefrontal cortex, like goes offline to protect ourselves, which means like we don't have memories stored from those times. So they're not like easily accessible. So through the process of working with the therapist, you can kind of like go back and try to figure out where those feeder memories are, and then we try to work with some of the earlier memories if we can. We don't always have to, though. They can be more current, especially if it's like a one-time event, like a car accident or something like that.
Wow, that's super interesting because I feel like, as somebody who's familiar with EMDR and is already in the therapy world, I hear a lot about EMDR being used for trauma, but I haven't
Yeah.
heard a whole lot about it being used for other things. So it's really cool to hear you talk about, wow, like this actually spans a much broader range of symptoms or,
Yeah.
yeah, troubling experiences that people are having that they want to reduce.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we all struggle with symptoms of past experiences that we can't always pinpoint. But yeah, it's such a phenomenal treatment modality. I mean, it's evidence-based. They've done tons of research. I love that it was created by uh, a woman who let me just pause for 1 second. I don't wanna get her name wrong. Yeah, Francine Shapiro. Okay, I was right. I just wanted to double check that. She created this, which is, like, amazing that it's a woman who founded this approach, and she basically discovered it because she was walking after a stressful event and realized that her eyes were moving back and forth. And the more that she kind of emphasized that, the deeper she was able to kind of process this experience that she had gone through. And basically, walking is bilateral stimulation. So we use bilateral stimulation, engaging both hemispheres of the brain, going back and forth, either through eye movement. I use buzzers in my practice, or even tones in the ears to help, like I said, both hemispheres of the brain stay on board so that we can, as I mentioned before, keep one foot in the past, one foot in the present. Because when we experience like stress or we're triggered or we have a flashback or a panic attack, whatever, the energy or the activation in the brain is going to the brainstem, the amygdala, the alarm center, for survival. So this keeps more of the brain on board. So we're able to stay present and we're able to like reprocess those memories in a way that make them more adaptive. Which is like just, yeah, it's incredible. It blows me away every time I use it in my practice. Yeah. I used it on myself, like you said. So I'm excited to share my story about that.